Okay, welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone. So, the playoffs, massive game on the weekend. Barnsley against Swansea. We did a couple of pre-match videos, getting the hype train going, and I think the game lived up to all the hype. Everyone was excited, and it was a good watch. And we come away with a 1-0 win away from home. So to discuss that and to look ahead to the second leg, I've got Lee joining me again. So welcome back, Lee. And
Hello.
I'm also joined with the boys from the Send Him Off podcast. So I've got Alex and Sam here. So welcome for your debut, boys.
All right.
Thank you.
And I'll be honest, technically it's not Alex's debut because we did actually... This video, as you can probably tell, is a couple of days later than you would probably expect. And that's because we did record something on Tuesday, an hour-long one. And it broke, basically, while we were recording it and didn't realise until the day after when I was trying to edit. So apologies for the late upload on this and for the unfortunate circumstance we had to do it twice. But welcome both again. And if you want to introduce yourself and where to find you, then Sam, go for it.
Yeah, so we're Send Them Off podcast. We chat every week just about football. I think we're not quite as technical as these boys, but we like to have a laugh. We like a squad builder. We like a discussion. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, everywhere. Send Them Off. We're on Instagram at Send Them Off Podcast, Twitter at Send Them Off Pod C1, and we're on YouTube as well. If you just search Send Them Off Podcast.
I'll have to go on
Did you
YouTube.
see how much cleaner that was? It's a good job that ours got cut because that was far cleaner than what I did.
Nah, it's fine. Yours was fine. I'll have to go on YouTube.
And I even plugged my own. I was shameless and I even plugged my own Instagram.
No, it's fine. You can do that at the end again if you want. But yeah, I haven't seen your YouTube channel yet. I've seen you on Spotify. That's where I've listened to your stuff, but I'll have to go on your YouTube as well. But
to be fair, there's not a lot on there yet. I'm lazy.
I don't think I even there yet.
That's fine. We'll get it going. Okay, so let's get straight to it then. So we'll talk about, first of all, the first leg. So obviously there's two games. We have Barnsley and Swansea, obviously, the game that we're most interested in. But we do have an interest in the other because it could potentially be a team that we might play against if we happen to come through the second leg with a positive outcome. So Bournemouth and Brentford. So results were, as I already mentioned, Barnsley 0, Swansea 1, and Bournemouth 1, Brentford 0. So we'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But we'll focus first of all on Barnsley against Swansea. So I just want to ask everyone. So we'll start with the guests. So Alex, if you want to go first. Thoughts and sort of overview of the first leg match against Barnsley.
Well, we did speak it. We spoke a bit on Tuesday, as we know. I admitted, I confessed, I didn't actually watch the game. I kept up with it. I was in the gym. I spoke to you about it. I was in the gym, keeping up with it, bits and pieces. Dan Juma scored. He's been on fire. And Bournemouth have been, they've been playing pretty well this season. I personally think, I didn't, mention this to you last time, but I personally think they were quite unlucky not to get top two. Because I feel like with the squad they've got, I know, it all depends on how you play on the season, but the squad they've got, they are, I think, good enough to go straight back up because they hang on to most of their players. Most of their quality players as well.
Yeah. All right, well, I was going to start with Swansea Barnsley, but seeing as we went with Bournemouth, then I'll carry it on. So, Sam.
Derailed it out. You've derailed it already.
Oh my God!
We've been on this podcast. We've been on this podcast 5 minutes. And we really ruined it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Swansea Barnsley,
well, at least we've got an outtake now. That's going straight on TikTok.
Oh my gosh. There we are. See, this is why Sam goes first. This is why Sam does the talk, and I just jump in.
It's all good. I just want to confirm, you did watch the Swansea game. But he was on the wrong wavelength, and he thought I was asking about the other playoff. But anyway, on that note, Sam, Bournemouth and Brentford then, what did you think of that game, if you watched any of it?
I actually did watch that game. I thought it was a decent game, to be fair. I thought it was quite end-to-end. It was one of them games that sort of, like, if Brentford had won 1-0, then I'd probably be sat here and saying exactly the same thing, just the other way around. It was just one of them games that could have gone either way. Bournemouth, they did really impress me, to be fair, because I did sort of feel like Brentford had lost their teeth a little bit. They'd lost their bite, sort of. I didn't see, everyone went into that game talking about Ivan Toney and everything, and he didn't really see it. Whereas maybe in the second leg we will. You never know. But I was sort of left wanting more from Brentford.
Well, I don't want more from them. I'm quite happy with
Yeah.
them showing less. But
I'm quite happy with them and doing that as well. But if I was watching as a neutral, then
that's fair.
Yeah, from that point of view.
Okay, Lee, what do you think?
Yeah, it's all right, Alex. I know exactly how you feel because I let Luke steer the ship and I just sort of follow on behind.
It's one of them days for me, mate. Honestly.
Don't worry about it. It was funny. It was funny. Go on.
No, on the Brentford game, I agree with what Sam said. I was expecting a lot more from Brentford, but I said the other day I was surprised at how open they were. We say about like how arrogant Thomas Frank can be, and especially the way he sets up his teams to be that open away from home in a playoff game. I just thought it was a bit strange because they got caught out so many times. It seemed like to me in the bits that I saw, they just seemed to be getting caught out all the time. And I think they got what they deserved really. I know they should have scored. They missed a massive sitter, didn't they? That and Buemo did.
Yeah.
So you'd probably argue that they should have had a draw, but no, I think they deserve to lose that one.
Well, I did last time we recorded this video. Briefly touched on the stats. Brentford did have 58% possession. They had more shots by 2. However, only 1 was on target. But the key thing for me, 3 big chances created and 3 big chances missed. So you mentioned that one by Buemo, but I only caught that because I only saw the last 20 minutes of the game. But they've missed another 2. So I was just speaking with Sam as well before the video. But for me, Brentford always have this thing where they look at their XG, they always look at their stats and analytics. They always saying I'm not worried, or the coaches will say I'm not worried. The stats say we're doing well, we're doing what we need to be doing, we're creating all the chances. The XG is high, we're the highest in the league, blah blah blah, and that's all well and good, especially over a league season because probably it is gonna make a difference. And their league position, 3rd in the league, you can't argue with that. You could argue that period where they drew all those games, they should have done better and potentially got 2nd. However, in the knockout competition, which the playoffs is that sort of mentality and attitude the right one? Because they've now got 1 chance left to make sure they make these chances count. Because if they don't, they're not going to Wembley. If they don't score a goal, they're not going to Wembley. So if they miss another 3 big chances they create, it's over. So I don't know. Maybe they need to... I mean, it's one of that. You don't really want to see a club necessarily change in the way they play for a certain game in it, but like Lee said, maybe they were a bit too open, and if you're not going to be clinical, then yeah, I don't know what you think.
It's the complete opposite to us, really, though, isn't it? Because the stats say that and all this XG stuff says that we're not, we don't score goals and we don't play well. But people say about Steve Cooper being a good competition manager. And that's what you sort of saw in parts of the season where we were just I wouldn't say not in the game, but just doing what we got to do to win the game, and that's what he'll do now throughout the playoffs. So it's just a complete sort of opposite to Brentford, really.
One thing I've always said though, no matter what season it is, no matter who you are, form always goes out the window in the playoffs. Wherever you are, form always for us. It's always Cardiff and the playoffs. That's what form doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you've got to turn up. Simple as that.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't want to dwell too much on this match. We will potentially have more to talk about Brentford or Bournemouth after the weekend, maybe. We'll see. Maybe we'll get to talk more about Thomas Frank after that.
Having said that, though, before we move on quickly, I'm still going to stick my neck on the line like I did on Tuesday. I'm going to stick with it, and I think Brentford are going to turn it around at home, though.
Well, we'll stick our necks on the line at the end and come to predictions overall. But you can think about what the score will be and let us know. We already predicted it, but maybe it will change after we've seen the first leg. Okay, so Alex, let's try this again, yeah?
Yeah. Let's do this again. I know Jordan Webb is going to be listening to this. He's going to enjoy that first bit. So.
He's going to love it. What do you make of the first leg between Barnsley and Swansea, which Swansea won 1-0?
I did watch this one, and it was a good game. I didn't particularly like. It wasn't our best performance, but I thought we were solid. And the big talking point obviously was Ayew's goal. Great finish. I said to you on Tuesday, for 89 minutes he can go missing, but for that 1 minute, for that one moment, he'll turn up, and that's all you need. But I think defensively we were solid. Cabango, Guy, fantastic game. Norton, fantastic game. Even Bidwell played quite well. So. I can't really have any complaints. I didn't Tuesday, and I don't really know. I've had time to think since Tuesday as well. I think we all have. I keep referring to Tuesday. That was
Yeah.
when we recorded.
We're referring to the
I've
last
had-
time we actually had this conversation rather than the game
Exactly,
itself.
yeah. But like I've had time to reflect on what we were talking about, and I still, I stick by it. I can't really argue with it because I take that result all day, especially away from home.
Sam?
Yeah, I thought it was probably one of the best like team performances I've seen from us all season. Like, I think every time I've watched them, and I've not seen every game, but I reckon I've probably seen a good 85% of the games this season. At times, unfortunately, but I feel like there's been like some performances, like the Cardiff game where we beat them up there, was a good team performance. But other times we've like sort of scraped through games and Ayew's come to save us. Like the Reading game, we didn't play particularly well, and then Ayew came on, and I know we drew, but it's sort of been driven by individuals this year. Whereas I feel like this was a real team performance this time, and I think Cooper got spot on with the selection as well. In terms of like when I saw Connor Roberts wasn't on the team sheet, my eyebrows were raised, and I've got quite large eyebrows, so that's quite substantial when they're raised. But yeah, I think Norton was superb. I think it was exactly the right choice. Exactly the right choice to play. To drop Bennett as well and play Cabango, because that is it. DK, Daryl DK, he's a nightmare. He was so strong. So I think Cabango was exactly what they needed.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I think I agree with a lot of what you said there, but Lee, what have you got to say?
Not really much to add on that, to be honest. I think spot on with the team performance, just as a unit. Sort of defensively, we were perfect, and I'd go as far as to say that was like a perfect template of how to play an away playoff leg. Just be solid, and I was praying for a draw before the game all day. I just thought, just get a draw, and bring it back to Liberty, and we'll go from there. So to come away 1-0 up and defend like that, I think, it's just a quality result. I was surprised that. I was quite surprised that he didn't play Bennett. I thought he might play him just because of his experience. But yeah, Cabango was outstanding. So I think like Cooper got everything spot on tactically selection. It was just spot on.
Yeah. Interesting you mentioned about the Connor Roberts thing, because I had Ben Bloom on the channel last week, and we were discussing, that was one of the key points. And also when I watched his pre-match video for the game, he actually picked Connor Roberts out as the key man. That could make a difference. And I said to him, I was like, Ben, he's not going to play. And he was like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, like I think 1 point for me there. But Norton definitely did a solid job. But like you said, he's proved why he's there, because he did the job. We were going there to be a bit tight, to catch him on the break. And I think Norton is the one you pick for that, because not slating Roberts, he's been fantastic this season, but he definitely suits the wing-back role more, because it allows him to get forward, and I think that's where his strengths lie. I don't think necessarily like balls in the air and like defending quite a lot is his strength. He can defend, don't get me wrong, he's a good defender, but his strength is when maybe he's able to push up in them forward positions, which is why he's played some games as a winger as well. Like he wouldn't be playing there if he wasn't, good going forward. But yeah, as a whole team performance thing, I think you're right when you've all mentioned the team performance was massive. I tweeted out after the game saying they showed a lot of passion. I think there's been times this season where people have criticised that, but I don't think that's something that you can criticise. You're in the playoffs now, and they're showing that they want to be there and they want to get to that next step. But yeah, let's touch on something that Alex said, and he said moment of brilliance for one person in particular. Andre Ayew, so he did score the goal that made the difference. 1-0. It was before half-time, specifically on the 39th minute. So I'll just give a brief description of the goal. So he's out and wide. Norton plays the ball through. I believe like Barnsley lose the ball in the midfield. Norton wins it back. Andre Ayew is like very close on the line, bending his run to sort of run back towards the Barnsley goal. And he gets played in by Carl Norton. Very good vision from Norton to quickly turn that around and play on the other foot, if you like. But Andre Ayew's in, he goes wide. He does his classic. He cuts onto his left foot. Gets a little bit of space away from the defender, who, to be fair, he did stick with him quite well, but he just couldn't get close enough, and Andre Ayew managed to bend the ball, finesse it into the left-hand side of the goal. I think it was a fantastic goal. A big goal for a big game from a big player. So what do you think about that, Sam? What do you think about Andre Ayew's performance and his goal?
I mean, we touched on him when you guys came on our show and we did our playoff preview. Where for quite a lot of the season, me and Alex in the group chat have been like, if Ayew goes, we'll be okay. I was like, we'll be fine. Like, yeah. And then the Reading game was a massive turning point for us where we went, actually, I really don't know anymore. He was superb the other day. I thought they all were, to be fair, but I mean, he's gonna be the standout guy, isn't he? That everybody talks about. He grabbed the back pages because of the goal, but he deserved it. Like quite often this season, I think he's been. I think Mark Gurley said when he got the Man of the Match award, and he said, I thought it was Andre Ayew, and like a few of them have said that this season. And I think he is the guy who gets the headlines. Sometimes other people have deserved it, but I think, particularly on Monday, we needed a player of his stature. And he turned up. He's such a big game player. Such a big game player.
Yeah, definitely. Anything to add on that then, Alex?
Not really. Like as Sam said, we have been pretty critical of him this season, and I've not been a massive fan of him since we went down because I thought he's on far too much money, not worth it. May as well, ship him off, keep the wages, and I don't know, get a few other boys in or promote some of the boys from the academy. I whatever it is. But it's moments like this and games like this where you start to think actually, paying him all that money is worth it. Keeping him in the club is worth it. And the goals, you can't argue with the goals, can you? It's as simple as that. If you score you the goals, then you're not gonna ask how much he's on. You're not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. And Lee, I think we've mentioned in a few videos about him cutting in from the right hand side, and how putting him out there in the first place makes a difference from playing him through the middle. So we've got anything to add from that aspect.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Really, like I agree with the boys because when he was playing in the middle, he's not a striker. He is quite ineffective in a lot of games this season where they played him through the middle. And I think because we relied on him so much that when we had our bad spell, it became a case of if you mark Ayew out of the game, we're done. But then we were crying out for him to just move him out to the wing or something. And since he's made that and put him out there and give him a bit more space, he's gone up another level again. So yeah, I think that's made a massive difference, and we saw that then on Monday when he sort of floats into those spaces especially behind the wing backs when a team are playing a back five, and he just and they can't seem to pick him up. So yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think. Go on, sorry. I was going to say, I think that could probably be said of Jamal Lowe as well.
Definitely.
Since he's been out on that left side, he's looked so much more comfortable. He's looked so much more dangerous as well. It's, he was outstanding on Monday.
But let's be honest,
I think he was really hard done by.
He could have maybe stole the headlines if that run and finish had actually hit the back of the net, where he's tiptoeing around left, right with his feet, a little bit of magic taps there. And tries finessing it the other side into the other side of the net, but keeps it a little bit too high. If that goes in, maybe that's a better goal than Ayew's.
Well, that would have been class. If he scored that would have been
without
class.
question. That's a better goal. Without question.
Not saying that Ayew's isn't good, but it's just because you have the run as well.
Yeah.
In that case, but giving him run for his money, I guess that's what we wanted. Not just Ayew scoring the goals and looking a threat. So. Good, very good all round. And I think just while we're talking about the attack, just to keep us, just to tick that off if you like. But as much as Liam Cullen maybe was a bit quiet, I think him just being there, doing his job as a number 9, allowed the other two to be a little bit more of a threat. So if one of them's quiet, the other two are having a threat. I think that's a good contribution all round. Because on another game, it would be the other way around, and Liam Cullen is the one that's getting into dangerous positions. But the fact that they're all helping each other play to their best, I think he deserves a shout out for that, because his performance in terms of what he did on the ball probably wasn't his best game, but it allowed.
I suppose it's the whole. It's similar to when you think of Liverpool's front three, who's the one that doesn't get the headlines?
Yeah, Firmino.
Firmino.
I guess,
he's there to do what he's meant to do for the other two to shine, and I feel like that is exactly why Cullen was in the team and exactly what he did the other day.
Yeah, and he did that.
I think in time his role will adapt, and he will be the sort of the star man. But this, for the sake of having him on the field, just for that, I think it was invaluable. And even the experience he got just by being in a playoff semi-final.
Yeah,
It says
Brilliant for him.
it says a lot though that Cooper picked him to start really, and you can sort of tell like last couple of games of the season that's the way he was going, and he'd only just come back from injury. So the fact he hasn't had a lot of experience and he's been injured, and the fact that he starts him in the playoff game says what he thinks about him. And I think like
definitely trust him.
He's the 9 that we've been missing, even if it's just like you said, like the Firmino role where he's just making the right runs, he's doing the right thing as a striker. And it's just freed up Low and Ayew, and it's worked perfectly. And I'd love to see what would have happened if he stayed fit, Cullen, because he was brilliant in that FA Cup game when he scored 2.
Yeah, he was
and then I'd love to know what he would have done then, building on that until the end of the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, just on that point as well.
Right, sorry, I was just going to say, in a way, briefly, I'm in two minds whether I want to go up and whether I don't. And it's a stupid thing to say, but I know if we stay where we are in the Championship, Cullen's going to get all the game time because, without a doubt, if he was, starting to sort of push his way into the team this season, without a doubt, he'll be in the team next season. Will he be in the team next season if we go up?
I think he'd still be maybe number 2. Like they bring in
maybe
a striker.
Number 2, but I don't think he's gonna he's not gonna have the season Dan James had or Joe Roden.
Maybe not. But I'm sure if you ask Cullen what he would rather, he'd probably rather have Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to turn it down.
You're right though. It works across the board because like they've. We've got like Cabango and Latibeaudiere and these sort of young players in the squad that if we didn't go up, then they would be seeing a lot more game time and getting a lot more experience. And I don't know how much, maybe Cabango a bit more, but someone like Latibeaudiere as well probably won't get a lot of game time if we do go up. So yeah, I do. Maybe 1 year too early.
Well,
exactly. I think
we haven't got up yet, guys. So let's just wait and see what happens.
I was going to say we're going to win 2 games.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now. Yeah, let's rein that in a little bit.
We're just talking about the young talent that we've got. That's all. I'm not saying we're going up. Not stamping that in yet.
It was all hypothetical points.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to move on to other areas of the pitch in a second. But the last point I wanted to say to close out the attack, and I think Lee mentioned what would have happened if Cullen didn't get injured, and it's just this thought just hit my head really. I'm thinking, did Steve Cooper plan to make this formation change earlier with the likes of Morris coming in, Areola coming in? Whittaker's spent more time out on the wing than he has as a striker. So I think Morris, especially with his pace, and he was the one that was coming on a lot more out of the new signings when he came in. He was the one that was being used. I got a feeling he was going to go for that formation earlier, but then with Morris getting injured, Routledge and Cullen getting injured, he was kind of forced into sticking with the 5 for what looked like in the end too long, which maybe he was fully aware of. Stuff needed to change, but was kind of backed into a corner, and then the bad spell was the result of that. Maybe just a thought process that's just gone through my head. Maybe that's something we can discuss at the end of the season in a little bit more detail. But moving on to, I just want to focus on the defence a little bit, and specifically Freddie Woodman's contribution in goal. What did we make of the defence and Freddie Woodman then? Start with you this time, Lee.
Yeah, class. We said the other day, didn't we? The back sort of 3, the 2 centre halves and the goalkeeper were solid. Woodman, I know a lot of people criticise him in the season, saying he needs to go, and he wasn't up to standard, but I thought he was class. Like that's why he was. He's showing what he can do when he is on form.
On that note, though, Lee, before you carry on, we don't know nothing about football, but apparently, people tweeting Woodman needs to go. Is that's good call. That is good call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Carry on. Then, sorry, I just needed to get that.
Well, Guehi and Cabango. To be fair, the pair of them in a big game with their age as well. That's why I thought you might play Bennett just to have one sort of older head in a big game. But they were absolutely class. They didn't look their age, did they? They were absolutely solid. I was so impressed with those two. I couldn't pick. I struggled how they picked Guehi as man match because it could have been both of them really. For me, either one of them two would have done. So yeah, it was class all round.
Yeah, for me, surprised that Bennett didn't start, but same thing as what one of you said earlier about Connor Roberts. Cabango come in and you can't even question it now because he had such a good game. And I think I agree a little bit there. I don't know if I would have picked Guehi as man of the match. He had a really good match, but I think Cabango was like a titan at the back. I think he had not much better game, but out of the two of them, I would have gone with Cabango. Alex, what do you think about Woodman then, and the defence?
Fantastic. I said to you on Tuesday that personally my man of the match, I would have given it to Jamal Lowe personally, but any of the defenders you can't really argue with it.
Yeah.
In this case it was Guy, but Woodman was fantastic, and we have been quite critical of him in times, justifiably so, but I couldn't really pick anything out in particular.
Yeah.
Like, he really did turn up, and I know he's young. Well, he's not. How old is he? I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, he is quite young.
And I think a lot of people forget how young he is, and then they criticise him. Oh, he should be doing this, he should be doing that. But he's still not the finished article, and people need to remember that. All the ones tweeting Woodman out, this, that, and the other.
24 years.
24. He's still got a long way to go, and especially for a goalkeeper, being in the game for quite a lot longer than most of the other field players. So he's still got a lot of, he's got a lot of time. And if we stick with Woodman, I really don't think it'd be a problem for us at all, personally.
Yeah. Like you said about he's had stick, and he has deserved criticism, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
we have
100%,
also
100%.
given him criticism on this channel, but never once said, like, Woodman out, for example. He's a 24-year-old goalkeeper. That's young for a goalkeeper. He's got to make mistakes sometimes, and the reason he's been sent to the Championship is to make mistakes and learn from them. That's literally why he's here. That is the reason he is in our club. So,
and as a goalkeeper, your mistakes get noticed more than anywhere else on the field. So you're going to get more criticism. But you've just got to remember that, and the fans as well, they've got to remember that.
Yeah, exactly. I want to highlight, before I come to you, Sam, Woodman's one major contribution. He had a really good game overall, but there was one major contribution. And you guys mentioned he kind of made it difficult for himself and then redeemed himself instantly, but he made a double save. So he palms away the ball that falls to, was it DK that falls to? DK's basically got a score. He's got the net in front of him. Woodman's on the floor, the other side of the net, but he literally gets back up. He just desire to get. Maybe the fact he could have dealt with the first shot better, but he gets there, he makes the double save, and it was a fantastic double save. It was Barnsley's big chance according to the stats, and they missed it because of Woodman's save. Okay, so yeah, that was a massive save for Woodman for me. So Sam, what do you make of the defence in Woodman?
Yeah, much the same really. I mean, the things I've really found with Woodman, I've been in his corner most of the year because a couple of the boys on our chat, Alex and there.
Yeah. That, one in particular.
One in particular, Garen, if you're listening, up yours.
Get him on.
Yeah, he's been on our show a couple of times.
We'll have a boxing match on the Swans cast now. That's it.
My main two issues with him, even though I've been in his corner, hasn't really come out for crosses enough. I don't think he comes off his line enough, and his kicking at times has been questionable to say the least.
Yeah.
But I think on Monday, both of those things, like, he was a sweeper keeper.
Yeah.
Monday, and he did it brilliantly. Like, he honestly did not put a foot wrong, other than making it hard for himself when he made the double save. Which, can you really call that doing something wrong?
Redeemed himself straight away, didn't he?
Yeah.
So.
In terms of the defence, I think we touched on it earlier how Bennett was dropped, and that sort of was a surprise. But I can see exactly why he did it, because if you look at DK, him and Cabango are sort of in the same build, the same mold. Like, they're both big, strong lads. Like, and I mean, Bennett's a strong player, but
yeah.
Would he have coped with DK? I mean, I think he committed didn't commit 8 or 9 fouls, something like that, didn't he? DK?
Yeah, he didn't get booked once.
Yeah. So he's so physical, and I think Cabango and Gurley, to be fair, but mainly Cabango. I feel like that was the big battle between those two, particularly in the first half, and he dealt with him so well because he's run riot in the Championship since he came in January.
Yeah. So you're right. I think Cabango, for me, he was brought in especially because of the way Barnsley play. Obviously, DK being the head of that. They press you very high. They don't give you any time. They're very physical. They'll lump it up, get out of their own half, push all their team upfield to try win the second balls or whatever, the third balls, just win it back up the other side of the pitch. That's how they play. So I think Cabango was there. Maybe the youth, a little bit more mobility, the strength and that sort of thing over maybe Bennett. Not saying he wouldn't have coped with it, but there was a couple of balls that went through the middle, and Bennett's probably not getting back in that circumstance, let's be honest. As much as we rate him and he's had a good season, that's not his strength. So, good call by Cooper, to be fair. I didn't see it coming, but a very good call, and Cabango has justified his inclusion. Okay, so last point from this match I want to highlight on, and it's kind of one that we touched on the other day that I thought was a good conversation, and that's just Horahan in midfield. So I thought the midfield in general had a really good games. Grimes was fantastic again, Felton again. Both doing their individual jobs, like as we would expect, done them very well. But Horahan, I'm still lost really to, does he know his role? Like, what is his role? He's not really playing as a 10, which I would expect, whether that's down to Cooper or not, whatever. But then for me, he doesn't suit the flat 3, so I'm just a bit confused about him. His contribution is not on par with the other two midfielders. So yeah, what have you got to say on Horahan then, Alex?
I'm going to start with talking about Selena, if I'm going to be honest with you, because towards the end of his time, I know it's a strange place to start, but towards the end of his time with us, he wanted to play out wide. I couldn't tell you why. I don't know why. He was much better down the middle. He was much better where Horahan is now. And I feel like if we had a player like Selena rather than Horahan in that position he's in, with Ayew and Lowe out wide, we'd be far more effective going forward, because Horahan, he just went missing. He was neither here nor there. He wasn't really there going forward. He's not interested in tracking back. I know, let's talk about Selena. He probably wouldn't have been as interested, but going forward, he would have picked the ball up and he's got the feet. But I don't think Horahan was the answer. And I don't think he will be come Saturday either.
Yeah, I think it's maybe Cooper rather than like Selena wanted to play wide, because obviously you've got Jan Dander there as well, and even when Jan Dander does start, he doesn't play him in that role. He plays him in the flat 3, so I just think Cooper's not really a fan of having that 10. The last time we really saw it was like Gibbs White. Maybe he just doesn't trust the players. I don't know.
I think they did have a falling out, Selena and Cooper, which is why we ended up leaving. But I don't want to talk about Selena for too long, because he's an old player. Yeah. But it was just a comparison I was thinking about over the week. Now I was thinking, well, probably that would have been a player that would have been more suited to how we were playing, because we needed that sort of outlet rather than having a player like Horahan, who was he was in the grey area, wasn't really tracking back, didn't really look interested at times, and he was quite disappointing for me, to be honest with you. Not saying he hasn't got the quality, not at all.
Yeah, no, definitely, he's definitely got the quality. You don't get to the Prem if you're not a good player, do you? And
no, exactly.
He was good for Barnsley, good for Villa. He has been good for us, let's be honest. He's got some good goals, but I don't know. There's just something, I can't put your finger on it. Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I said to you, Luke, the night before we came on, I think everyone in that team was a 9 or a 10 even. On Monday, Horahan was like 6 at best, probably. He was just, I mean, for the last month or so, I felt like he's got nothing but his dead ball, but our corners were genuinely horrific. On
they were all short,
our corners.
Pretty much all short.
I thought, yeah, but I feel like our corners were their attacking opportunities.
Yeah, well,
exactly. If we were lucky not to end up in our own box from our own corner.
Yeah, there was 3 of them running forward.
A couple of times they caught us out from our own corner.
Yeah, that was quite scary. No, you're right. I think if you're going to have him on a pitch, dead ball specialist and all that, why are you taking a short at that point? Surely you need him to get it on Cabango's head. I don't know. I don't think that's his fault necessarily, but they're obviously working on routines there. But maybe that's I don't know who does the corner routines in the club, but I don't know. Maybe they need to look at that. Anyway, Lee, while we're on Horahan, but let's transition as well into the next leg, looking ahead. What are we looking for in the next leg then, in terms of the team? Do we stick with the same team because it's a winning team, or does the formation potentially change, go a bit more robust with 5 at the back? Any personnel change, does Horahan drop out if we're saying that maybe he was the one that didn't show up as well as the others?
I don't know. I was a bit on the fence on Tuesday, and I still am. I don't know what he does in terms of changes. Horahan, I don't know. I like you. I don't know where I sit with him. It's a bit of a strange one, because I think you've got to keep him on the pitch, because I think he's always got something in the locker just in case. Like with Ayew, but maybe not as regularly. If he could always come up with a magical goal somewhere or a free kick in the right position, then I think you always got to have him on the field. But we looked at it before, didn't we, about his stats, and I know I hate looking at stats. I absolutely can't stand it, but it did actually back up when we were talking about that. He doesn't measure up to the other two when he plays in the midfield 3, whoever the other two are.
Yeah,
he hasn't got the same work rate. He doesn't get in the same areas.
Spoiler,
so, I don't know.
Same for this game. We have looked.
Oh, it's just exactly the same. Yeah, and it seems to be a trend that the other two are putting their foot in, or they're getting forward, or they're doing something, and he's he's not defending, and he doesn't seem to be getting forward. So
Yeah.
I don't know what he's being asked to do. But yeah, in terms of the next game, I think he's got to keep it the same. I'll go with that for now. But if you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably got a different answer. But yeah, I think you've got to keep it the same. I think they played that well, and if they play like that again on Saturday, they'll go through if they can obviously match that performance. Whether he'd be tempted to I don't know, bring in Connor Roberts maybe and go a bit more attacking early to get an early goal and kill it. I think if it was me, I'd be going same 11.
Sam, we changing the formation? We sticking the same? What are we doing?
I stick exactly the same. I know I said Harahan was disappointing, but I think I just keep him in. I would now. He was disappointing, but I wouldn't say he was necessarily horrific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't bad enough to drop. It was just it was more a fact that like he was average and everybody else went above and beyond. So yeah, I keep it the same. To be fair, I think we were too much for them. I think, and I can't see them coming at us in any other way because that's how they played all season. So I can't see them changing it for one game.
No, they're not going to change. That's how their manager played since he's come in. That's literally what's got them to the playoffs. So I can't see a change from Barnsley. Maybe just what they probably will change is maybe the strikers because they have interchange. They got 6 strikers, and they do swap them in and out. So whether DK doesn't play, I don't know about that, but or Woodrow. But I think at least one of them maybe, and then subs earlier than maybe what they made in that game. But yeah, Alex, what do you think then about the team?
Yeah, no, don't change your winning team in advice. It's that cliche. But I think, thinking about Horahan, I think with him, I think it was the attitude that he's on loan. He had that typical I'm on loan attitude, and next season I'm not going to be here, so what difference does it really make? I know Villa are safe, so, if we go up, we go up, but I'm going to be in the Premier League next year anyway. I think that was his attitude, but I wouldn't change the team because, I don't know what they're working on in training now, and from now up until Saturday, so you don't know what they're working on. He could come out a completely different player. Hopefully he does, and we'll give that 10 out of 10 performance. But you don't change your winning team.
Yeah, no, I think maybe you're right.
He'll score 3 more on Saturday now. He wants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For me, I think I don't know if Bennett might come in potentially. Harsh to drop Cabango though.
I feel like Bennett would be a substitute, probably like a last minute substitute, just
keep us in the
game.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But then I don't really know what else. I don't know. Like maybe he will go 5, bring Connor Roberts in instead of Liam Cullen if that was the case. I think, and I don't know. It seems on paper like it's more defensive, but then our assists all season have been coming from the wing back, so just to change it up might catch Barnsley off guard a little bit because they're expecting the same. They set up and plan to play against the same, and then we change it. Maybe it's a little bit of chess, mind games if you like. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I can't predict it, to be honest.
The only one for me though, I was surprised that Cooper didn't go to a back 5 in the last 10-15 minutes. Yeah. We were 1-0 up, just close it out. I was just crying, just bring on Connor Roberts, go to the back 5 and see the game out. But what do I know? But yeah,
I think if we get another goal now on Saturday, 100% we'll see that back 5. Maybe even sooner than for the last 10 minutes. Maybe the last 20 minutes we'll see that back 5.
See it at half time if we go 1-0 up in the first half.
Yeah, that's probably true, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see on that one. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, so the other thing I want to touch on ahead of the next match, I think this is a big important thing to discuss, and that's just the return of fans to the Liberty Stadium. So last time we discussed, the ballot hadn't been done, but have any of you been lucky enough to get a ticket?
Lee?
Dim. No, nothing for me.
Well, I was also not lucky enough. No, I didn't get a ticket.
No.
Never.
I didn't try. But
no.
Sam, no luck.
I'm not a season ticket holder, unfortunately.
Yeah, same me either. But all right, fair enough. 2 things I want to speak about. The more positive one, we went a little bit mad on pushing this the other day, but I think whoever it is going to the game is very important that you really do back the boys, be that 12th man, and you haven't been there for a year, so all that energy you stored up for the last year. Let it all out. Get the songs going for 90 minutes, not just the first 10. And just make that atmosphere bounce in for 90 minutes. Like, you haven't screamed or shouted for a year, so come home without a voice, basically, and push them through to get to Wembley. I guess you'd all agree with that. You know, I'm sure we'd all be wanting to do the same if we were there.
100% simple as that.
So
and for
the
those
ones
selling your tickets on, you've waited so long.
Yeah.
Don't
that was my second point. That was my second point. So
there you are.
I just wanted to say, right, if you are selling your ticket on, then just don't renew your season ticket next year.
Bother.
Like,
don't bother.
You'd probably be lucky even if the club allow you to renew your season ticket, and that's like the least of what you deserve. So come at me all you like. I don't care. But I'm not being funny. There's been a pandemic. You allowed 3,000 fans in a stadium where people have not been able to go for a year, and you know there's a lot of like things gone on. People have been not dealing with the situation very well. This is something that people are happy about or excited about, and you could have taken that ticket off someone and they're absolutely gutted to not be able to go. And then to see them selling it, you know, I just think it's disgusting, really. It's taking advantage of such an awful situation. And I don't care, come at me. Like, I just think that's the way it is.
And breathe. You had that one bottled up, didn't you?
Yeah. Does anyone else got anything to say on that while we're here? Because I think it's a big thing.
No.
I
was just thinking. Sorry, I'm just thinking about. You know, me and Sam spoke briefly in an episode about AFTV, Arsenal Fan TV, and you know what with Claude. We assumed now it was a suicide, but he was somebody who was so passionate about football. Football was his release, and to see our fans, you know, we've been lucky enough to have that opportunity to sell it on for a couple more quid or whatever, and there are fans who have been genuinely waiting and have been agonising over the fact that they could go back and, you know, finally get their life back to normal. I think it's pathetic. It's really pathetic. Just
as a warning as well, it came from a ballot, and I'm pretty sure it's maybe potentially illegal that you can sell your ticket after coming from a ballot in that circumstance. I'm pretty sure it says on the ticket, like, this is non-transferable in any format. So good luck to the person if you are buying a ticket as well, getting into the stadium. Just good luck, you know. If you want to waste your money, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. If you're buying it, you just
don't entertain it. The right thing to do is to just report that person to the club, and they should get a season ticket removed. That's probably the best thing for the team, for the supporters. You know, we want people in the stadium that want to be there, not want to be there to make a profit. So,
100%.
Yeah. You two got anything to say?
I was only going to say it got a bit. It got a bit heated on Twitter, like people who didn't get one and people who did get one. You know, I think there'd be pressure on whoever's going, like you said, like make sure you sing and that. And I saw, like, you know, like I think it was Southampton that there was this like Sky put the like a shot in the crowd and they were all on their phone, weren't they? And it was went viral. It's like you waited a year to get in and you're all on the phone. So God help anyone if like the Swans lose and there's a clip of them like sitting down. God almighty, they'll be crucified.
Enjoy yourself, guys. We wouldn't say it in terms of like a threat.
No, I know, I'm only joking.
But like
threat.
We're not going to be on your backs if you're pictured sitting down or on your phone. I just mean, like, you know, use the opportunity to try and push us to Wembley.
5-minute break.
Yeah. Trying to say, try to be the 12th man as much as possible, just to help us get through more than anything. The whole selling the tickets on is a different thing. I'm not like, you know, people can go and enjoy themselves in a football match without having to sing and shout. But selling your ticket on is a different kettle of fish altogether in terms of.
It'll be class just to see fans in the Liberty though. Finally, to actually see fans.
I just want to hear them when I'm watching it on the telly. That's what I want. I just want to hear them.
Yeah.
Over the commentary.
The real fans, yeah.
Not the fake one.
Yeah.
The fake hymns and arias doesn't hit the same as the voice.
No, it's not the same.
That just reminds me of FIFA, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, okay, we'll look to move on. We'll end the video now. We've touched on most things I wanted to touch on. A little bit shorter than what we did last time, unfortunately. We don't have the same amount of time allocated tonight but we can all fit in. So it is what it is. We'll be back after the game, though, obviously, to discuss that.
We'll have to do quick fire predictions.
Yeah, I was going to say, to round it all up, I want to get everyone's predictions for both games. Bearing in mind the original result, then we'll be able to work out who you think's going to the final. So we'll start with the guests. So Sam, both games.
I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Bournemouth win. So that's 3-1 in aggregate, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 Swans win.
Oh,
So
massive
3-0,
call.
3-0 aggregate.
Who's
yeah.
scoring for
Nice.
Swans?
I'm going to go for Ayew. And I tell you what, I know we slated him, but we'll go for Horahan.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is his former
coming
club.
on.
Maybe it's written in the stars, eh? Alex?
For us, I think I said it was a 1-1 or a 2-1. Either or makes no difference to me. I'd take either. I think Ayew will score again. I fancy Cabango, to be honest with you. I fancy Cabango to get a goal.
Cabango.
If it is 2-1.
Yeah.
Cabango, there we are, yeah. For
Horahan
the
assist.
Bournemouth game, I think Bournemouth will go through. I think that'll finish 1-1, to be honest with you, because I do think Brentford have got a goal in them.
I'd be shocked if they don't score a goal.
Yeah. And I will, 100%.
Over 2 legs.
But I do fancy Bournemouth.
Okay, so you're calling Swans Bournemouth, both of you. Lee?
And then I don't care who wins that one. I just want to go to Wembley.
Oh, yeah. I hope we can go to Wembley if we do get there. I don't know how they're going to do the tickets on that one. Keep that one for another day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
another podcast, that is.
Well, I'm gonna stick with what I said back in like March, and I said Swans Brentford playoff final. So I'm gonna go 2-0 Brentford, turn it around, and I'm gonna go 1-1 in the Swans game. I think we'll score. I said the other day we'll score early, and then Barnsley will score sort of 20 minutes left, and it'll be the most horrific last 20 minutes ever. Just hanging in there. That's what I think it's going to be like. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope we just wrap it up in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. And Swans Brentford final.
I'm going to say it's going to be 3-1 Swans. There's going to be someone
3
scoring
goals?
from outside the box, with finesse. I don't know whether that's going to happen with the second goal, but they're going to get one back. And then when we just need to put the icing on the cake, they'll have the goalkeeper up for a corner, and then the ball's going to come out, and Horahan's going to be running up the wing, fall over, but kick the ball, and it's going to go in the net. But oh no, hang on.
Aaron Pratley style.
Yeah, I think I'm just
It's almost as
thinking.
if we see it before, advice.
I know. I don't know where I might have seen that before. Yeah. No, I know. In all seriousness, I'm going to say 1-1. I think. I don't know what I said last time. Probably changing my mind all the time. But I think it's going to be hard, and we don't tend to score loads of goals. So yeah, it's going to be, I think, a nervous 90 minutes again. So I'm going to say 1-1, and I'm going to say Connor Roberts is going to score. There we are. Done it. See what happens. All right. So before we go, then, guys, thanks for coming on for a second time. Even though one of them is only one of them's going out, because the other one, I'm just talking to myself in the video apparently. But would you like to remind everyone where they can find you on your social media and your podcast?
Take it away.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having us. We've enjoyed. It's been fun. We're on Spotify, Send Them Off Podcast. We're on Apple, Amazon, all that. Wherever you can find a podcast, we're probably on there. YouTube site, it's just search Send Them Off Podcast. Instagram at Send Them Off Podcast, and then our Twitter is at Send Them Off Pod C1.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And thanks, Lee, for coming on. Just a quick bit from us. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe. We will have more playoff stuff coming. Hopefully, we will anyway. We'll have at least one more. Whether there's more after that depends on the result. But obviously, then we look ahead to maybe the summer. We've got the Euros. There's a couple of things going on. So we'll try and get some stuff sorted for that. We have just got our content put onto a new app called Fan Hub. So feel free to download that. All our stuff will be featured on there. So yeah, check that out. I did tweet about it yesterday, so have a look at that. And as always, follow us on Twitter. That's our most active social media. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, and Spotify as well for our podcasts. And on that note, shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to click the like button to help us grow. To keep up to date with all of our new uploads, hit the subscribe button and push the bell to ensure you are notified of all of our new videos. As always, engage in the comments and let us know your opinions on what we discussed today. And if you want to support us directly, check out our new merch where you can find some awesome Swansea related t-shirts.